Hi friends, welcome back to our PERIDOT TV. Lawyers threaten mass action, claim that democracy is under grave danger in Nigeria. Welcome back. If you're just joining in, kindly take a moment to tap on that subscription button and also the red notification icon bell so you'll be notified whenever new videos are uploaded. Lawyers under the Lekki Forum of the Nigerian Bar Association have vowed to embark on a series of mass actions in protest of recent acts of the government against the people. And apart from other actions of this administration, particularly Buhari refusing to obey court order, they dismissed the bail that was given to Sowore, a civil rights activist, the convener of revolutionary movement, the CEO of Sahara Reporters. The lawyers also claim that the latest acts by the government are posing threats to democracy and rule of law in the country. While addressing journalists in Lagos on Monday, Secretary of the NBA National Bar Association Lekki Forum, Ayodele Ademiluyi, expressed distraught at the flagrant disregard for court orders by the Nigerian government. Ademiluyi also lamented the continuous disrespect of the court by the Department of State Services. As you know what happened, the state service decided to flout the court ruling. In fact, they claimed that they did not receive any order by the court to release Omoyele Sowore, and when the bailiff brought it down to them, they decided to act like he wasn't a human being. They kept him out there, and eventually they collected the paper from him and they acted like they weren't interested in it anyway. Well, this shows how this government has become a dictator. These people are only acting on the orders of Buhari. They would never have acted this way if Buhari have not given them that backup, if Buhari has not given them a direct order to disregard court rulings. And as you see, the practice in Nigeria is that the executive arm of the government, the presidency, is the highest of all the arms of government. Now, I use the word arms of government because in a civil society, in a society that obeys the rule of law, this will be the arms of government. As you know, we have the executive, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary. But unfortunately, this is not so in Nigeria, as the presidency, the office of the presidency, the executive arm of the government, has so much power that they have now made the rest of the arms of government to become parastatals under them that they control and dictate to. He said, "We unequivocally make this assertion based on the latest flagrant disobedience of a valid and subsisting court order by the Department of State Service directing the release of Omoyele Sowore. It's such a shame. In fact, the judge that asked Sowore to be kept in DSS detention till Friday should be ashamed of herself. One Mrs. Ojukwu, Justice Ojukwu, she is not acting right. As a judge that she is, I expected her to have corresponded with the other judge, Justice Taiwo, and I expected her to act in accordance with what they all swore to uphold, the rule of law. But unfortunately, probably she was bribed, I don't know, or she was threatened, I wouldn't know, or she was given some extras somehow. I don't know why she had to do this. She asked the DSS to keep Sowore in custody till Friday so they can cook up some stories. Anyway, we'll see what is going to happen anyway. He went further to say, we view all those desperate moves of the administration as a descent to dictatorship and authoritarianism. The group also reiterated the United Nations Rapporteur special report on Nigeria detailing the continued detention of prisoners of conscience, employing terrorism act, treasonable felony amongst others, which evidences the attacks on democratic right. The National Bar Association Lekki Forum asserted that there are ongoing efforts by the government to further impoverish Nigerians, citizens, through its renewed charges on cash transactions. You know what that means. If you put in the bank a certain amount of money, you will pay for putting it in, and you also pay for taking it out. He added, we are aghast that there is a grand attempt to milk more money from the already impoverished, suffering Nigerian masses with an increased value added tax without implementation of the meager 30,000 minimum wage based on the passage of the Minimum Wage Act 2019, either by the federal government of Nigeria or majority of the state governments, save for some. This is so sad. This is terrible. They've implemented the 30,000 minimum wage, which is not even a minimum wage. It is not even a living wage. This is nothing compared to what is out there. A lot of people have issues out there in Nigeria, and 30,000 naira cannot solve these issues and problems. We are convinced, they say, that except Nigeria rise and resist this descent to dictatorship, the future of rule of law seems bleak. We hereby give notice that in the coming days, if there is no reversal of the attacks on the principles of law, democratic rights, living conditions of the Nigerian masses, we shall be left with no choice than to unify with our civil society allies to set machinery in motion for mass action against impunity taking over our land. And guys, may I remind you of this? You see, Buhari has already thought about this. He's slow, he's stupid when he wants to. Although he's not a smart person, he's not intelligent anyway. Buhari is presently looking for an excuse to push the military to all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. He claimed that he's trying to battle crime, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and all of these crimes that Fulani herdsmen have created, and people from his own region. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't other people from other regions that are part of kidnapping, but we are talking of what is really happening now. Yes, there was a time that a certain part of Nigeria, a certain region in Nigeria, were involved in kidnapping. In fact, they were on the forefront of this kidnapping incidents that we have in Nigeria. Although some of them are still hiding behind the Hausa Fulani umbrella to commit crime. But right now, Buhari is using this as a ruse to push the military. Of course, you know these military personnel are headed by Hausa Fulani, by Hausa people. He's trying to push these people to all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. And they said that this military personnel, this security personnel, will tackle ethnic militias. Now that's where I want you guys to focus on. They are going to put every of those people that are going to protest against all this authoritarian and dictatorship rule of Buhari. They are going to term all of them either as ethnic militias, or they are going to group them in the same thing that they've grouped Showore now. They are going to call them people that are committing treasonable felony against the nation, against a democratically elected government. So everyone have to be careful and open up their eyes now. This is getting to a point that we cannot keep quiet any longer. It's not just for Showore. It could be for any other person. Anyone that speaks against this administration, anyone that says anything against this administration is considered enemy of the state. This is not a communist rule, and this is not a military government. Enough of this. Let us be in the comment section. What is your take? What do you think is the way forward? Yes, some are saying let us break apart, but how do you break apart from a nation that is not ready to break apart? Some people are comfortable in that little cocoon, in that little space of theirs. They switch on a little bit of their I better pass my neighbor generator. Maybe some of them have a little money, they buy a much bigger generator. Maybe they're involved in some crime. Maybe some of them get money from where the businesses they do, and they feel like, well, I cannot die, it will get better. Well, let us see how it will get better, because I don't see this getting better. Some people are already pushing for Buhari to go for the third term, and he will find a way of changing the constitution so that he can go for the third term. Some people are already clamoring for the North to take over. Like I do say, it doesn't matter who takes over, but the problem is this: we have no one that has the right approach. We have no one that is truly transparent, no upright person. All of them are thieves, criminals. Let us meet at the comment section below. What is your solution to this? And while you are there, may I remind you to tap on that subscription button if you have not done so, and also the red notification icon bell. Tap on it so you'll be notified whenever new videos are uploaded. Thanks for stopping by.